Today I'd like to introduce you to the computer work I'm doing. It is a variation of my portrait painting, however it's done very differently. I'm using some newly developed AI code, artificial intelligence, to have a computer learn my portraits, my paintings. I'm using code that other people developed, I modified to my needs. So these are some of the input images. In each iteration, it will refine the result. And it does that maybe 100 times before something visible or recognizable appears. I am asking the computer or the program to display 4 images for control, and it will show each iteration. And iteration just means it runs through all of the images one more time. Each time it has been trained on over 1,000 images, and then it starts over from the beginning and does it again. So it refines what it already learned, and it throws out what is not matching, similar to evolution. It's been widely used, I guess, not that widely in arts and more in programming and AI circles. Recently I was asked to contribute to an exhibition with the title Mortality, and I decided to take what I create here on the computer and have this printed out. The connection with mortality is this: that was at the beginning of the COVID scare. So nobody knew how deadly it would be or not, and I figured, well, maybe I'm going to be dead, yeah? So I created a program on an internet server, and I had it recreate images that I made. What it does now, you can go to that website and you can pull up an image that is being recreated by software. I called it ai.carstenbund.com, but there it is. This is an original, and it takes traces of my images and reproduces it. So I can recall it or refresh, and we will see a completely different one. And if you look, you can see eyes here, a nose, and a mouth. So it also picked up the face features. It's not perfect, but it's really about the principle of transferring some of my creativity to a machine and have it live on. These are the originals, and then the first iteration, second iteration, third, fourth. I only used small paintings or medium paintings, small ones, the portraits, and I had to cut them in squares because all of this is happening in squares, so it can't calculate non-square, or let's say it takes longer and it's less effective, so I cut those to squares, and the output will be also squares. So here you can see I in one run I only used the gray ones, and this is what came out here on this computer, on this screen. And it's a little bit different. This is actually moving, and what I did here is I interpolate between images, and I have the computer or the program calculate the steps in between, and then I run it in a succession, so it looks like a fluid image, which it is, I guess. This is a small version of it, and this runs on a Raspberry Pi with integrated screen. And it's also a fluid painting. It slowly changes. It's possible to hook it up to a large screen, but it also runs just like this, and it can run a battery or like a mobile. It also has an AP, like an access point integrated, and you can hook up your telephone and look at other things. And this one does exactly the same, but it does not have a screen, so it has to be connected to a computer screen. And so there we go. This is coming from this little computer. It's supposed to be a $10 computer. However, it's more, but it's pretty insane, I think, for what it does. So these are prints of that computer, of the AI output from my website. And so these are all individuals. ai.carstenbund.com, the website that I just explained to you before. In case I'm dying from COVID this year, it's possible to go to my website and pull these up. They're still there. So I paid, I think, 3 years in advance. So somebody would have to pay the bill. As long as it's paid, it's gonna run.